Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Brothers and sisters, today I'm going to put out a video that's going to be a bit controversial, but it's a topic that no one talks about. In fact, I don't think outside of just me thinking about this, anybody ever think about this. And this is going to make, those Indians that identify as Dravidian and Dravidian exclusionists and those that try to break Bharat apart through Dravidian identity, and who tells North Indians, or I guess those they label as Aryans, to leave Bharat. I would like to start talking about this. I want you guys to listen to clearly to what I have to say. So, in case you don't know, I have native indigenous Indian, as in the original Indians in Bharat, blood in me. Okay, just that we're clear about that, which is why I believe I should cover this topic there. Let us talk about the Dravidian invasion of India. Not the Aryan migration, which is falsely labeled the Aryan invasion. Let us talk about the Dravidian invasion of India. Yes, let us talk about the Dravidian invasion of India. Why does no one talk about this? If you go back and you look at, not go back, but if you look up the study of history in India, they will talk about the different waves. First, there was a pre-Dravidian, right? Pre-Dravidian, or the ones that now like to identify as Adi this, Adi that, which means I don't know what Adi really stands for, but basically Adi Dravidia, or Adi this, or Adi that. And then there's the Dravidians, and then of course the Aryans, one postulated by the British, even though there wasn't. And let me state this very clearly: there is no evidence for an Aryan invasion. There is evidence for an Aryan migration, and I am not denying that. Okay, Dravidian people, I am not denying that. But I saw this guy in one parliament from the DMK who was talking and telling these people, oh, you guys are Aryans, to go leave and stuff. Why doesn't he take his own advice and leave? I don't remember his name, but I remember the video. But anyway, you all can find the video. You all know who I'm talking about. Why doesn't he leave? In fact, any one of you who wants the Aryans to leave, why don't you join them and leave? Or why don't you set the example first and leave? Why? No, let us talk about the Dravidian invasion of India. Either that, or you shut up. Stay quiet. Okay? We are all one people now. I am not denying that there have been waves and waves and waves of migration. But Bharat itself, Dharma itself, is a culture that originates in Bharat in India. Okay? The term Aryan applied until it was co-opted by Germans and and white people, European people. Aryan itself just applied to all Indians living in India before the advent of Islam and Christianity. They identified as Aryans. This included the Vijaya Empire, the Chola Empire, what's the other guy's name? I forgot his name. Raja, him as well. All of them identified as Aryans. Okay? All of them identified as Aryans. All of them saw themselves as part and parcel of Bharat. So So Dravidian people who identify as Dravidian for the sole purpose of dividing India and creating a rift within Bharat and Bharata society, who wants the people they consider to be outsiders to leave. Why don't you leave? Why don't you leave? If you want Aryans to leave, you should leave first. Set the example and leave first. Again, let me repeat this. We're talking about the Dravidian invasion of Bharat, the Dravidian invasion of India. Okay? If you all see my videos and there's lots of videos that YouTube have taken down, I have been one to, I don't go just until what people speak about. I go beyond. I go way back and I go way forward. I don't know if this is a blessing or a curse, but it is something that's innate to me that I like to go beyond. I don't go where people begin the conversation at. I go beyond that. For example, the financial crisis in the US, right? How many of you know what's the root cause of that? Okay? I've seen a lot of economists talk about that, right? And I'm going to give you the root cause of that. But how many of you know what the root cause of that is? Everybody talk about the subprime lending crisis and all of these things, right? That wasn't the root cause. The root cause of that happened when I was a very young child. Very, very young child. It was Ronald Reagan and his deregulation and allowing the banks to govern themselves. You have not heard anyone point to that. And which is why they did not address the core issue. But like I said, I always go back. When I talk about Kashmir, I didn't talk about Kashmir from the time of independence. I went way, way, way back. Talk about how Kashmir demographic was changed through genocide, through invasion. Okay? And that the Indian government do not do a good job in educating outsiders. They let others control the narrative. So those of you that like to identify as Dravidian with the sole purpose of Dravidian supremacy and wanting the so-called outsiders to migrate and leave Bharat, I'm asking you to set the example first and you please leave. Okay? Please leave. You know Kamal Hassan, who even though he's married to a North Indian, his daughter is mixed, who is into Dravidian identity and Dravidian politics, and Stalin and his cohort and all of them, and cronies, all of them. I want you guys to leave. Leave, set the example and leave Bharat. Okay? You are also invaders. Okay? You are also invaders. I am calling you guys out. You know? The RSS and what's the guy that I forgot his name, but anyway, you know, even Jai Sai Deepak, but it's not just him. He was also campaigning for the BJP in the south, and he was a star for the BJP, but he didn't make much inroads. But you know, he doesn't call you guys out. The BJP doesn't call you guys out. Nobody calls you guys out. You guys have a line. The Dravidian identity is a Christian missionary creation to divide India. I am not saying that the people that identify as Dravidian did not exist. Okay? I've never denied that. I am saying you guys forgot you are also invaders. You are also outsiders. Okay? This is what I'm saying. You know? You guys like to claim the Indus Valley civilization, the Saraswati Valley civilization. But now you all have to encounter somebody like me. Let me point something out to you. Let's take Egypt for an example. Okay? Let's take Egypt for an example. Do you think the Zulus, also Africans, can claim to be the creators of Egypt, of the Egyptian civilization? Do you think that they have any claims to that? They don't. Egypt is now mixed. The Egyptians that's responsible for the Egyptian civilization are now mostly mixed with Arabs who are outsiders. Do you see where I'm going with this? Or you don't see where I'm going with this? Most of you will not see where I'm going with this because you are not able to see far back as me. So, the people that created the Indus Valley civilization, they didn't leave and went to the south. No, they went more to the Ganges River, they went into Bihar, they went everywhere. But they did not go to the south, they still stayed there. And the migrating Aryans intermingled with them, married, okay? And created this modern northern Indian race, admixture, okay? The ones responsible for the Harappan civilization, the Indus Valley civilization, the Saraswati Valley civilization, the Mohenjo-daro civilization, are the descendants of the migrating Aryans and the remnant of the people that created that civilization. It is not you guys in the south. It is not you guys in the south. You guys in the south were in the south long before the Indus Valley civilization collapsed. Okay? And you remain there. Let me give another example, maybe that a very clear one. Very clear one. Very clear one. That I hope you all have the mental fortitude, mental capacity to understand. Me and my brother. I have a brother, me and my brother, okay? We're together. You know, my brother moves to the south of India. I remain in the north. Okay? I remain in the north. I create a beautiful civilization, right? While my brother is serving in the south. I'm not saying you guys didn't do anything in the south. I'm pretty sure there's civilization in the south waiting to be discovered. Okay? Or that has been lost to time. But I'm talking about the Indus Valley civilization. So I remained there, my brother moved to the south. Outsiders come in and I intermingle, we marry, then our children continue there, intermarrying with outsiders, and then this goes on over many generations. And my brother, meanwhile, who is now in the south, he has many kids, many generations later. He has descendants, many generations later. Who is responsible for what I built? My brother's kids or my descendants? Even though my descendants is now mixed with outsiders, that you like to call outsiders. Even though they're mixed with outsiders, who is responsible for the civilization that I created? Still my descendants, regardless of whether or not they're mixed with outsiders. Okay? This is the conversation you all need to have. I know you all want to claim the Indus Valley civilization and exclude those who are also descendants from the people of that civilization. But don't do it. Don't do it, because if you do it, the argument that I just put forward to you has a lot more substance to it than yours. Okay? You all would have been descendants of those who migrated long before that civilization was created, while the people around that area would be directly related, even though their admixture might be more from outsiders, but part of their admixture would be the direct descendants of those responsible for creating that civilization, while you would only be related to them, but not responsible for creating that civilization. Okay? And many of you will get very angry with this, but it's the truth. Now, you all see the bust that the Pakistanis have in their museum with that figurine from the Indus Valley civilization. Whenever I see that bust, I'm reminded of Narendra Modi. That bust looks like Narendra Modi posed for it. If you go to Rajasthan and look at the people in Rajasthan, they still dress like the figurine of the dancing girl figurine that India possesses. You go to Rajasthan today, you will still find people that dress and wear their bangles like that. Okay? In the Sindh province, you will still find people with close admixture to the people directly from the Indus Valley civilization. Okay? I know you guys want to create the Aryan Dravidian divide. Okay? You guys want to create that. But it's a very foolish thing to do. Very foolish thing to do. Okay? Do not fall for outsiders wanting to break India and break Bharat and break Indian civilization and Bharata civilization apart. Don't do it. Okay? I am taking control of the narrative, my narrative now. I am leading, changing this narrative. Okay? And I am putting forward the right argument and the right narrative. I'm not embracing others now. Okay? I'm done listening to what others have to say. And it's what they're saying is not what it is. Okay? You can create false history, but facts will remain facts. Okay? Even if history is forgotten, facts will remain facts. Thank God. Thank God for DNA. Because DNA provides a direct link and truth to what history has to say. Okay? Look at all North Indians. They may be different shades of brown, but the fact is they are brown, which is a clear indication of mixing with the population that they encountered there, meaning that they are direct descendants from the people of the Indus Valley civilization. This you cannot deny. Okay? So again, my brothers and sisters who have fallen for this foolish narrative of an Aryan Dravidian divide, meant to break us apart, please give it up. I beg you to give it up. I am asking you nicely to give it up, because it's highly flawed. Okay? When India was seeking its independence, do you know that one of this guy that I don't know, but you guys who identify as Dravidians will know this. One guy, he was asking to remain under the British yoke because he said he was different from the North Indians. How stupid and foolish of him. He wanted to be enslaved by somebody who had already enslaved and raped India and drained India of its wealth. He wanted to remain under their colonial yoke. How embarrassing. Is this the people you want to identify with? With people who are mentally enslaved, mentally subdued? Is this the people and the movement you want to be identified with? No, brothers and sisters. Reject the Aryan Dravidian divide. But if you do accept it, set the example and leave Bharat first. Because you are also invaders. Remember this. Dravidians are also invaders. Okay? There were people in Bharat before the Dravidian. My ancestors were there before you guys. Okay? So if you want to tell the North Indians whom you view as Aryans as invaders to leave, I want you to take your own advice and leave. Okay? But if we see ourselves as one people, one civilization, one culture, we may be different ethnicities, we may be regionally different. Okay? This is fine. But we have historically always identified as part of Bharat, as part of that civilization. We did not identify with the kingdoms. We may have lived in different kingdoms, but we considered ourselves to be part of Bharat first. Okay? India is first and foremost. Bharat is first and foremost a civilization. And we are part of the Bharata civilization. This is who we are as a people. So give up this Dravidian nonsense that wants to send all Aryans away. Give it up. Because if you don't give it up, I expect you to take your own advice and leave. Okay? This Dravidian nonsense that's fostering a division of India, who wants to divide India on the basis of a missionary created, a British created, an English created fault line to divide India. If you want to embrace that, do not expect sympathy from me. Do not expect understanding from me. Do not expect tolerance from me. Do not expect respect from me. Okay? Because you are hypocrites. If you want others to leave because you view them as a migrant, an outsider, as an invader, then you take your own advice and leave, because you are also an outsider. You are also a migrant. You are also an invader. Or, please, see us as part of the civilization. Let us work together to make Bharat re-emerge as the cultural and political and economic linchpin of the globe. Let's work together to shift the economic power that has always been Bharat. Okay? So brothers and sisters, this video might be hard for many of you, but what I have said contains only the truth. Many of you will try and say and try to argue this, but the fact will always remain the fact. Okay? Dravidians are also outsiders. So brothers and sisters, let us be one. Do not let there be fault line created within our civilization. Okay? With this, I say Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. We are one people.